Hey guys, you guys enjoying the new Warwick rework? Well, today we're gonna dive into the new rework lore. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a man named Warwick. His name wasn't actually Warwick, but he doesn't remember what his name was, so we're just gonna call him Warwick. He lived in the city of Zaun, which was located right under Piltover. He was a gangster, or at least that's what he remembers. All Warwick could really remember was being taken in by Singed one night and strapped onto a table where he would be experimented on. The lore doesn't really say how Singed got a hold of Warwick, but I'm assuming that Warwick was in a fight one night, cause you know, that's what gangsters do. Got wrecked, and then Singed came along and dragged his ass back to his place. That's when Singed began to operate on him. He added pumps and hoses to inject chemicals into Warwick's veins. These chemicals boosted up Warwick's healing, which allowed Singed to constantly reshape him. Warwick's hand was severed during an experiment, but Singed was able to reattach it, while augmenting powerful claws to it. A chamber was added to Warwick's back, which was connected to his nervous system. Whenever Warwick felt rage, hate, or fear, it would drive liquid fury into him, to fully awaken the beast within. Even though the chemicals boosted up Warwick's healing, he was always in constant pain. He tried to remember anything about his past, but all he could see was blood, until fragments of his past came to him, to which he saw a little girl. I have no idea who this little girl was to Warwick, maybe his daughter, or maybe just a random girl, I'm not sure. She was screaming some kind of name that he couldn't understand. Eventually his pain overwhelmed all his thoughts. The chemicals were changing him. Warwick stubbornly resisted as hard as he could. Toxins started to leak out of his eyes, and he started to cough out toxic phlegm that sizzled against his own chest. Warwick was in agony for hours until his body finally gave up. Singed disposed of Warwick's body in a charnel pit and went back to plan his next experiment. But death was the final step that Warwick's body needed in order to complete his transformation. As his body was laying there in the middle of all those bodies, the chamber on his back began to pump again. His body started to bend and snap unnaturally. His muscles and limbs began to tear as fast as it healed, and his flesh was replaced with something new and powerful. Warwick woke up to hunger, and all he could think about was blood. He first killed some guy who was scavenging the dead bodies around him, then some priestess, then a Piltovan taking a shortcut, then a merchant, and a dram dealer. This guy went crazy. He set up a den and continued to slaughter anyone who fell into his claws. Even though he no longer resisted the beast he became, Warwick still had flashes of his past. Sometimes he would see a bearded man in the eyes of his victims, and sometimes he would remember the girl again. When Warwick looked into the eyes of criminals, he saw himself. That's when Warwick decided not to randomly kill anymore, but to hunt those who were already covered in blood. And yeah, that's how Warwick became Warwick. The end.